I would say my most memorable moment would be, I think it was in 1988 or 89. I was leading the race with 1 lap to go. Jeff Bodine was right behind me. I was going into turn 1. He bumped me in the rear end, sent me up the racetrack. He took the lead. And as we come down the back straightaway, I slid right back in behind him, and I bumped him in turn 3 and shot him up the racetrack. I slid underneath him, won the race, and I looked up in the rearview mirror, and all I saw was people sliding all over the place. And then I come in victory lane, and some of Jeff's crew chiefs' wives hovered as I was pulling victory lane, and they took their right hand and popped it through the window net at me. They were mad as a hornet. So there's been some real wild stuff happening in North Wilkesboro. I've won a lot of races there, and it's been a good track.
Everybody has his favorite memory about this great old racetrack. Rusty Wallace, in 25 races here, has 3 victories and has finished in the top 5 12 times. Jerry Punch.
Updating some of the pit stops down here. Bobby Hamilton's car number 43. The car was running a little bit hot. It's now down to 220 degrees. The right front fender was kicked out a little bit, but there was no problem with the toe. In the 24 cars, one round out in the right rear, the car was too loose. The 2 car, 4 tires, and no adjustments whatsoever on Rusty Wallace and Miller Ford. The green wave at North Wilkesboro. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
4 tires for Dale Earnhardt. Says his car is good. Was a little bit loose before they pitted. Mark Martin pitted 18.64 seconds, 4 tires, and leading the race. Ernie Irvin's car is not handling well. It's towed in a mile, they said. They're going to try and go to the next caution. Ernie is not up to speed, but he may not make it that far and may have to pit early. To John Kernan.
Dale Jarrett in, 4 tires, track bar adjustment. Remember, he was complaining the car was loose. Darrell Walter, 4 tires, and the track bar, just a small one to try and tighten that car up a little bit. Rick Mass came in, 4 tires, no adjustments. He's currently running in the 6th spot.
Ernie Irvin, indeed, cannot keep up with the rest of the field. He is very slow on the racetrack, but some good competition here. Look at Rick Mast working to the inside of Dale Earnhardt, and this is the battle for 5th position after starting in 28th. Good performance from Rick Mast.
And Darrell Walter right behind those 2 cars. Darrell started in 37th, currently in 7th spot.
And Wally Dallenbach just made an unscheduled pit stop. He had made a green flag pit stop before the caution came out. Was already 3 laps down.
Now both Ernie Irvin and Kyle Petty are just 1 lap down. 43 of Bobby Hamilton, who was also involved in that skirmish here on the front straightaway, is still on the lead lap. Here's Ricky Craven, Jeff Burton, Derry Cope, and others racing. Also Sterling Marlin there in the 4 car.
That's all 4 position, all in the lead lap. There's a cramp field summary.
Easy for you to say.
Now these cars right now with their fresh tires on are running about 20 seconds a lap here, maybe just a little bit less. Sterling Marlin goes on the inside of Ricky Craven, takes that position away. That should be 10th.
There's that new look number 11 as he gets into the side of Ricky Craven. That's Brett Bodine, who won the spring race here in 1990.
Messed up his right front fender on that pretty gold car as he got in the left rear of Ricky Craven's car. And there goes Derek Cope under Darrell Walter. And so does Jeff Burton. Darrell said, man, let me back to the inside.
Darrell Walter hanging on to 9th position. Kenny Wallace, the 8 of Hut Strickland, Bobby Hillen, Ted Musgrave, all battling in the back of the field. Round about 18th, 19th, 20th position on back.
There are 28 cars still remaining on the lead lap. A number of them, of course, lost laps during that little skirmish here on turn 4. And, of course, a number of drivers had made green flag pit stops before the caution came out.
And we see Ted Musgrave, the pole sitter, the Family Channel Prime Star car, mired back in 27th spot.
Wow. He's next to the last car on the lead lap. Hut Strickland there in the car number 8 would be the last car on the lead lap.
Back, who has made a couple of unscheduled pit stops in the last few minutes, and the Circuit City car with Hut Strickland. Jeff Green, by the way, as Benny mentioned, driving that 29 car this week. Meanwhile, up front, Ernie Irvin loses another lap, and that will put him 2 down back in 32nd position. Mark Martin has the lead, Jeff Gordon 2nd.
And Rusty Wallace looks like he might be coming in that Miller Ford. comes up on the back bumper of Jeff Gordon and looks about as racy as I've seen Rusty in the last couple of races.
Whoa! We got a problem between Robert Presley and Bobby Hillin. Neither go completely around, and no caution.
Wow. A tough break for Bobby Hillin because he's got fairly extensive damage to the right front.
Meanwhile, we continue to watch Rusty Wallace as he wants second position. Wallace, a three-time winner at this racetrack, looks to the inside, headed down into corner number 3.
Here he goes. Here he comes. Look out, Jeff. He's right there.
And Jeff will back off, I'll bet, going into the turn. He won't fight him, so back off, let him have the position. Again, thinking of that big picture, the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship.
Let's take a look at this incident up in the corner between Presley and Hillin.
Yeah, one of those situations where the car goes in the corner, the driver on the outside
Gets hit with the one on the inside.
Hit with the one on the inside. Happens all the time. And I tell you what, that 33 car got hit right in the left front tire. Could have bent the steering on that automobile.
And John, tell us about Robert Presley.
Well, I just talked to Andy Petrie, who will become the owner of that team this week coming up. He tells me that the toe has been knocked out, so Robert's going to really have a handful out there. Let's go to Jerry Punch. Well, they're going to call Bobby Hillin on the pit road. Troy Selberg says no use to take a chance on wrecking a car and maybe injuring a driver. Said we really can't tell from here how bad the car is hurt. We're concerned about a tire rough in the right front, even though quite a bit of the fender is pulled away. So they are on the wall, poised to bring the Jasper engines forward down pit road.
It sure looks a mess, and Ernie Irvin is in, Bill.
And Ernie Irvin has brought the Haviland Ford back to pit road. They're going to try and cut off the right front fender. They were held on pit road for too many men over the wall and then sent to the end of the longest line for pitting too soon. So it was a double whammy. They're going to try and cut the front fender off the 28 car and send Ernie back out. Back to Dr. Punch.
Most usable tool today has been a sledgehammer. Second time I've seen it used out here at the end of pit road. They peel the right front fender away, change 2 right side tires, and Bobby Hillin's down and away.
Hillin goes back on the racetrack, but Ernie Irvin continues to sit there as they work on the car. On the racetrack, meanwhile, Rusty Wallace is coming to the front. He is about to challenge Mark Martin for the lead here on lap number 96. We are almost to the 1/4 mark here at North Wilkesboro, the Tyson Holly Farms 400.